So now we can talk about encounter cards. Encounter cards only occur the second dungeon and forward. So the second, third, fourth, fifth, etc., etc. They never happen on the first dungeon. These only happen when you re-enter the dungeon. So there are up to 7 encounter cards that are available. So basically all you do is right before you enter the dungeon, after you deal the consumables, you flip over one encounter card. So in this example, we have encounter, enemy hordes. Place an additional enemy on each tile that is discovered. If a tile only has 3 spaces and a player rolls a 6, place 2 gold and 3 enemies in that tile instead. So now, every tile we discover, for example, if my character was here and I discovered this tile, you automatically roll, add an enemy, and then you roll to see what gets placed on there. So that was a 4, that would be 1 additional enemy to that. So the encounter cards modify the way you play the game entirely. And for every encounter card that is active, each player gains an additional gear card at the end of the dungeon. So after you've gotten 1 encounter card active, each player gains 1 additional gear card. But if you have 2 encounter cards active, each player gains 2 additional gear cards. This is designed to facilitate the game's speed, so that all the gear cards eventually get distributed out pretty quickly. Now we can talk about the Enraged Dwarf card and the Magical Negation card. We're going to start with the Enraged Dwarf card. The way this works is the player that uses it chooses one of their own gear cards and another player's gear card. So they say, the blue player, if he used this, would say, green, I want you to put up, let's say, the blue giant shield. So the green player puts that up. And as the blue player must choose one of their own cards to offer, he's going to choose the treadstone, for example. And then what both players do is they roll 2 sets of dice, and the player with the highest roll gets both cards. So in this case, the blue player rolled a 9, and the green player rolled a 7. So in this case, the blue player would get them both. But watch out, the green player wants to double the ante. So he places the Enraged Dwarf card, again choosing one of his own items, like the merchant's shoes, and then choosing the blue player's trade power. The green player can do this to either negate the effects of the previous one and double the ante, or can do it to just get more cards out of another player. But be careful, you are doubling both sides, so you're risking more to gain more. So the green player rolls a 7, and the blue player rolls a 4. But that's not it. The blue player now wants to do another Enraged Dwarf. However, he doesn't have any gear cards. Doesn't really matter. He can't offer anything. He just picks the green player card. Now the green player rolls this. He gets a 9. And the blue player gets an 8. So now the green player wins all these cards out of this. And that's thanks to the up the ante rule. There were 3 cards. That's 1 per each player per card, so that should be 6 cards. But the blue player ran out of cards. Obviously, you can't give something up if you don't have it. However, this brings me to the next card, the Magical Negation. If instead the green player used the Magical Negation when the blue player used the Enraged Dwarf card, the green player could negate it, stopping the Enraged Dwarf card, which means he would never have to enter the gamble. This can be applied to many, many other items. For example, the Strength Siphon. If the blue player used Strength Siphon, he can steal 2 attack tokens from the green player's stats. But if you use the Magical Negation, it negates that, and the blue player does not get the 2 attack tokens that he would. This can be used on any card that affects the target player.